Well, most people who are addicts, specifically alcohol or drug addicts, obviously use drugs and alcohol in harmful ways. They use them a fair amount, and they often get into difficulties as a result, and consequently their life starts to go downhill. So some of the symptoms of addiction, besides the loss of control over how much they use, would be doing poorly in school, dropping out of school, losing interest in school, doing poorly at a job, dropping out of jobs, losing interest, perhaps getting into trouble with the law, not having enough money. They tend to spend it on alcohol or drugs, so some will then get into criminal activity to acquire money with which to use. They find themselves losing friendships of non-users, and their range of friendships becomes narrower and narrower and consists of other using people. And their life basically gets narrower and narrower. They often suffer from depression, anxiety, guilt. And so basically, psychologically, emotionally, physically, socially, money-wise, it's a downhill process.
I was hanging out with these people that I never would have been hanging out with, and these working girls, these street girls, and I can remember this girl going into a seizure, and I was holding her, and this guy was trying to steal all our dope and stuff, and I was living in hotels then, and she was having a full-blown seizure, an overdose. I don't know what it was, but she was foaming at the mouth, and she was sitting in her own waste and her body fluids, and I can remember one of those moments of clarity, saying to myself, like, I cannot believe my life has come to this, and I just couldn't believe it. It was like, because I was almost looking at my life from an outsider, right? Like, well, what am I doing, you know? But I couldn't stop.
The first real inkling I think that I had, because I was in denial for so long. Roland was an adult, like he was in his 20s. It was like, no, not even that, probably in his 30s. Roland hid it so well. He worked, he was very popular, he had a lot of friends, he had his own house, do you know what I mean? It just seemed to spiral downhill about 2-3 years, as far as my perspective is, before he got help. Finally, it came to the point of my way of dealing with it was to just break away. You know, either do something with yourself or don't call me. So I spent several months with Roland, phoning from hotel rooms, etc., etc. And then he phoned me one day, and I was at work, and I worked in St. James, and he was at the Norvella Hotel. And he phoned and he said, "You got 20 minutes to get here, because I'm going to commit suicide. I've had it." I was there in 20 minutes from St. James to the Norvella Hotel. I picked him up, got him something to eat. He looked like death warmed over, and I left him at detox. That was the hardest thing I ever did, but the best thing I ever did. And he was on his own from then on.
I could actually remember getting to the points where I just absolutely loved being in the hospital, where my friends would come and visit me, and my family would come and visit me, and it would feel good, you know what I mean? Like, it was attention. I was in the hospital for 8 or 9 days, and I got one of my so-called friends. I basically pressured him into bringing me crack at the hospital, and I smoked crack in the stairwell at the hospital. For the life of me, I didn't know how to stop, or I couldn't stop. I think the key thing that I did was I went to the Addictions Foundation of Manitoba.
The Alcoholics Anonymous program, Narcotics Anonymous program, Cocaine Anonymous, and then there's others now, Dual Recovery Anonymous, and so on. Those, in my opinion, are very effective programs in terms of helping people recover from substance abuse. I've been in this field for well over 30 years, and I've seen thousands of patients, our clients, and I've seen many individuals recover by adopting the spirituality through those programs. Spirituality is one way of filling the void, and it's a way that seems to work quite well for a number of people, but not all. Part of recovery is finding a way to remove that void, to get a sense of connectiveness.
If you pour 26 ounces of whiskey down anybody's throat, they're gonna get physically sick from it. And they're gonna get so drunk that they can't walk. So it doesn't have nothing to do with the alcohol. But the question is why would someone go do that to themselves again? A normal person getting so sick from pouring that much booze down their throat, if they even did that at all, would not do it again. They'd say, oh my God, I'd never do that again for the rest of my life. A person with drug and alcohol problems will go do that the next day or as soon as they feel better. There's so many people, teachers, principals, my hockey coaches, you name it, all of them had their kick at trying to help me, you know what I mean? And I refused them all. And I had the attitude that I was gonna do it alone. Get out of my face, don't bother me, it's none of your business. And yeah, it just about killed me. So, you know, you do hundreds of thousands of dollars of crack cocaine, and it's got to have some kind of effect on you, right? And I'm just glad I don't have to live like that anymore. What a gift.